Today is May 8th, 2019. I'm going to do a quick garden review, and also I'm going to throw in some stuff on trying to get some trees to grow. Just discussing it real quick. Now, today overnight we had 1 1/8 inch of rain. The day before we had 1.75 inch of rain. I think we may get some more rain tonight. I'm not sure. I hope not. So that's about 3 inches of rain so far this week. Last week we had 6 to 7 inches of rain. So that's getting, that's getting close to 10 inches of rain in 2 weeks. And we did have a couple of nice days, but I wasted those days this week. So I haven't really done much in terms of gardening that I can really point to. Just trying to get some trees to grow. Here, let me go through the greenhouse and outside real quickly. So it looks like we got some watermelon that are coming up. So that's nice. These are some seeds from a watermelon I ate. I just kept the seeds from, it says 2017, was it? And here's some others. These are orange watermelon. So these are, actually I bought these seeds. So we'll see. Or, yeah. I may be pronouncing that wrong. Nothing really happening over there. Anyway, lots of rain. That's not looking very good. Looking sad, actually. Okay, well, that's kind of what's happening in the greenhouse. I guess there's some things happening down there. I haven't really looked. But this is, let's see. That's cucumbers. Anyway, different things I'm trying to sprout. Just keep trying. The mint looks pretty good. I've been using that mint. It looks like I'm getting some lettuce popping up finally. That's not looking good. That kale in there looks terrible. Too much rain. They say when the leaves start to get yellow, it means it's too wet. So that's had a bad effect. Oh, we do have potatoes popping out here and there. There's one potato per bucket. And then above that, I planted other things. Not doing so good. Those pole beans. I have not planted any other beans or any other peas. Just the ones that are, Now these, you see this right here? This is an enemy. That's a Jerusalem artichoke I've been trying to get rid of. But Jerusalem artichoke, any little piece of the stem, if you don't get it out of the ground, creates an artichoke plant, and that'll be huge. And then it spreads out like crazy. I mean, it is a war, and I'm going to have to dig that up, or at least pull it up. And you see that? That's a walnut tree. And it looks like I've got some volunteer tomatoes in there. Anyway, I need to I don't need any volunteers among my unless it's a marigold. Marigolds are good, but I don't want volunteer plants among my onions or onions and leeks. Now look over here. Well, I see another two walnut trees popping up. Man, if I wanted to grow walnut trees, wouldn't have any trouble. But the corn down there, a number of them have popped up, so that's good. I don't see anything. I don't see any of the okra popping up yet. Okra likes the heat, so I'm not surprised. It always feels that way to me when I'm growing the okra, that it's not happening. So I got a lot of marigolds there. A lot of them. And so far I've only had a couple of watermelon. I mean, I planted all kinds of seeds in there. But the ones in the middle seem to be happy. So how you like that? It's a marigold. Those aren't... So I got a lot of volunteer marigolds, which is great. Look, you see that? Some cucumbers. See, between the tomatoes, I planted cucumber seeds. And a few of them are starting to pop up. Just a very few. So the tomatoes are looking very healthy. These, at least a few of these out here, I think. Look at that. Now these are the transplanted. This is actually the second years for these, and you can see on the second year, seeds start to grow. So I can get seeds from these guys. They say to, you know, take off the pods if you want the growth to go to the below. So maybe I should, who knows. Anyway, potatoes. Now, earlier I came out here and I was finding bagworms. I think that's what they called them. I think I took them all out of the tree. I have I don't know, 20 or so bags of these bagworms soaking in water with soap in it. Soapy water, they say, kills them. Anyway, I cut the bag in half and put it in soapy water. You don't want to throw them on the ground or they'll still come. And evidently there can be up to like 100 different worms in one of those bags, and which is amazing. I have a problem. Look, do you see that? That's a bagworm silk bag. Can you see it? There's one there. And can you see that one? So what you do is you cut those out of the trees. There'll be up to 100 worms inside, they say. And they said you can kill them if you put them in soapy water. That is, you can also spray your tree with different things, but... So, those bags, they're not butterflies. Those are, I think, a type of moth and a type of... You can look it up on the net. Okay. So here we have potatoes and mustard growing up together, and something I did not. Oh, these are things that shouldn't be here. These are just weeds. I thought it was. I thought some of that was. Well, you can see the mustard. You see the color, a very light green. Now, at this stage, those mustard leaves are fantastic. They make great salad. They make great, you know, put them on tacos, whatever. They're just really nice. So the young mustard leaves are fantastic. And the peaches, can you see them? There's a whole bunch of peaches. So that's kind of what's happening. Lots of rain. Man, I've had an now, yesterday I came out here and in the wet, I vacuumed and swept. I mean, all of the helicopter seeds. And you can see I've even, you know, I put this to the side cleaning and stuff. In fact, oh, that's my bagworm soaking in soapy water. Let's see that here. So there's all the helicopter seeds I swept up from my driveway. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, thousands and thousands. And what a terrible situation to have to deal with all the time, every year. And I mean, I've got thousands in my garden, in the back garden. It's crazy. I got some photos I'll show you if you want to see them anyway. And I also have this. This is half full of those helicopter seeds, and then the top I have grass that I mowed yesterday. Because like I said, I wasted my nicest days, though. Even though things are wet, I came out and mowed. So look, mustard. Now I've been harvesting this mustard and I've already given some away to my neighbors. And if you notice, this vine has no grapes on it. So if anybody can tell me anything about this vine, but look how aggressive it is. Now the vine in the backyard, lots and lots of grapes, looking fantastic. Since I mentioned this backyard vine, I thought I'd come and show you. Look, grapes, more grapes, grapes, more grapes. Look at that. So this is doing tremendous. Look, I'm totally amazed on what's happening here. Now the backyard looks like it is a grapevine, and those should be globe grapes, because I was planting globe seeds. Now here, let's look at the garden. Now well, the trees have been planting maple seeds. Look at all those helicopter seeds. Look at that. Hundreds and thousands. I mean, they're just, every square inch seems to have a seed or two. I mean, literally. And I've been pulling seeds, and I've been vacuuming. In fact, I mowed up a lot of seeds and vacuumed up a lot of seeds at my back door. Trouble is I waited just a few hours too late. And there's the white pine. I looked online. It turns out I have a beautiful white pine. In fact, here. Can you see that across there? It's pretty tall. It's beautiful. I've got some photos. Now they're saying that here, these are the different names they call it. Eastern white pine, Pinus strobus, northern white pine, Weymouth pine. You can tell for sure that it's a white pine if it has sets of 5 needles, and the cones are, they say, 6 to 8 inches long. So I have one of these, and here, oh look, this isn't how they recommended getting the seeds out, but I found that, of course, these are, those are helicopters from maple tree. These are my bane this week. I mean, thousands and thousands of them I've been picking up. So, but, of course, you can tell how big that is. But look at the shape. Now, here, yesterday, you see those little seeds? Those are little pine seeds. Now, it turns out that those little pine seeds float. So when my bucket of, you see my pine cones got filled with rainwater, it turned out if I beat them up a bit, I could see them. There are 2 things about them. One, they seem to float. Now that I haven't emptied this, so I might find some seeds on the bottom, but they stick. Like if they're floating out there, they stick on the wall pretty good, and they stick to your fingers if your fingers are wet. There's other ways you can get the pine cone. You can just you know, stretch them and then tap them and stuff, And so in fact, if you get them out here, they'll look like this actually, except really small. There'll be a little propeller blade on the pine, but they're a lot smaller. They're really small compared to the maple helicopter seed. But the seed itself isn't the helicopter wing part. That's not anything. But it's the end part. So it's okay if you beat them up and you get them out floating wise. Anyway, this is what I got from there yesterday. Now, I planted some directly into soil to see if they grow, and then I also watched a video and they were talking about putting them between 3 sets of wet paper towels. Put 3 on top, 3 on bottom, wet it, and then fold it up and put it in the fridge for a month. So I'm going to put this in the fridge and see, and in the fridge it should start to sprout. Evidently they need to go through a cold cycle. Of course, my cones went through the winter, I think, so they may have already gone through their cold cycle. So it should look, from a distance, the bark should look blackish, but it's kind of a dark gray, and the pine needles should be dark green, they say. So that's how you can tell. But when you count here, when you count these, and I showed you earlier, when you get one of these separate ones, like there's going to be 5 needles per every one of those little thing, and evidently only the white pine has the 5 needles. Now the cabbage in this wheelbarrow garden is really the leaves. I came out and harvested, a few of these leaves to eat. But look at that. It was all covered. It was covering up my mint. This is the sunflower sprout project. I've already cut everything down once to the bottom, and now these are what's popping up again. I tried to see if I could get other seeds to sprout, like I got the sunflowers, and as you can see, these are nasturtium, and it looks like 4 have sprouted. I've also tried to do this with watermelon, and so far I haven't had any results with the watermelon. And this was $4.25. So it's been, a week and a half? So the other tree project I did this week was to take some dried figs that I got from the store, and in water just kind of break open the fig and get out the seeds and plant them. So there's some other videos on YouTube that's showing that process. So I'm going to see if I can sprout some. I've already eaten up all the figs, so I'm going to see if I can sprout some fig trees.